Hello everyone, my name is Afaf Ebrahim. I'm a PhD candidate from the University of Bahrain. This study is done with Professor Najla Alani from the University of Bahrain under the title The Socio-Cultural and Built Environment Impact on the Walkability of Shopping Streets in Bahrain, taking Sheikh Hamad Avenue in Muharraq as a case study. This study highlights the importance of the walkability on the vitality of shopping streets. Shopping streets are important open spaces in urban areas and a vital way for residents to understand and enjoy the energy of their city. In order to link the community and offer alternatives to driving, walkability is considered crucial to the implementation of sustainable urban planning, achieving SDG 11 from the Sustainable Development Goals. At first, it's important to be aware of the importance of vibrant commercial streets and address the factors influencing the retail environment in order to improve the commercial street vitality. Through the literature review, it is important to understand what urban vitality means and the challenges it is facing. Exploring frameworks to assess walkability, such as pedestrian accessibility, environmental design, and place attachment. Examining the social, cultural, and built environment factors that have been studied in different cultural contexts to draw relevant findings, as well as finding the gaps in studying the correlation between socio-cultural and built environment factors. It is important also to review methodologies used in similar studies to identify effective approaches for measuring and analyzing walkability. It is highlighting the importance of walkability in shopping streets in enhancing social cohesion, economic vitality, and overall quality of life. So the aim of the study is to identify socio-cultural and built environment factors influencing the walkability of shopping streets in Bahrain. For that, we have three objectives to be achieved. Number one, assessing one of the vibrant shopping streets in Bahrain, such as Sheikh Hamad Avenue. The second was to examine the influence of socio-cultural behavior and built environment elements on the growth of the perception towards walking, and also deriving walkability determinants to be used as guidance in the planning of commercial streets. There were three questions raised in this study. How does sociocultural aspects influence making Bahrain's commercial streets more walkable? Which physical attributes of the built environment design would affect the feasibility of the walkability for those shopping streets in Bahrain? And what are the determinants of walkability to be used as guidelines in the planning and design of the commercial streets in Bahrain? The study adopted the mixed method approach by selecting a case study to be analyzed, such as Sheikh Hamad Avenue in Muharraq. The research was divided into three parts. The first was the literature review, in which attributes of walkability was determined. The second part was conducting a questionnaire, which was relying on part one, attributes of walkability to construct the questions. And part three was the on-site observation, which was mainly covering the built environment characteristics and the human behavior. Collecting all this data were analyzed using the GIS mapping to draw a conclusion and highlight the determinants of the walkability in shopping streets, giving some recommendations for future research, as well as highlighting the research limitations. The case study used for this research is Sheikh Hamad Avenue in Muharraq City, which is located in the northeast side of Bahrain. The reason for selecting this case study is due to its historic background. This commercial road or commercial street is known to be one of the oldest in Bahrain. And it's due to its close proximity to the Pearling Path project and other historic landmarks. It was recently developed to enhance the infrastructure of the streets. That's why it was important to see the reflection of the users after the development, and also due to its complexity being two-sided commercial street with a total length of 620 meters. The questionnaires were divided into three sections. The first section was highlighting the demographic characteristics of the participants. It was also showing the reliance of the participants on using private vehicles, to reach the commercial streets, as well as the importance of the commercial streets being used as on a daily basis for the participants. The second section was consisting of 14 statements determining the opinions of the respondents on the different statements on walkability, covering 5 attributes derived from literature, which is accessibility, connectivity, built environment characteristics, the comfort level, as well as the safety and security. The third section was given opportunity to the participants to give their recommendations on enhancing walkability, which is summarized here as 8 recommendations, which is mainly considering climate conditions, technology used for outdoor cooling, inclusivity of the different users, as well as safety and security considerations. On-site observation was taking place on site through different visits, taking 2 days, one in a weekend on a Friday and the other one on a weekday on Sunday, at the peak hours, well-known peak hours between 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. The focus of the observation was to observe the human behavior in relation with the built environment characteristics on site. Taking into consideration all the information gathered, it was shown in the GIS mapping that the footfall count scored higher numbers in areas with furniture seating, areas closer to the car park areas, and where food outlets were located compared to the other retail shops. Less movement noticed at the strips of shops of similar types. Pedestrians were taking shortcuts of inner roads to reach the main avenue, which shows the importance of connectivity of the shopping streets with the surrounding. More male than female in general was observed. Female pedestrians were either accompanied by men or with a group of women. In the findings, 5 determinants of walkability of the shopping streets were highlighted. The first one was imageability, which is related to the design of these shops and the facades and their designs that are reflecting the image of the city and the culture. And second was the safety, considering the vehicle movement, narrow corridors, the sufficient lighting, as well as the comfort of walking long distances on these streets in hot weather. And also the complexity of the design of these commercial streets in terms of their accessibility, connectivity, the distribution of the different types of shops along the shopping street, as well as the inclusivity of the different users in the design of these streets. The enclosure was one of the aspects that were important in terms of the type of the commercial street, whether it's a one-sided or two-sided, the width of the street itself, the visibility of the sky, the transparency of the facades and the shop fronts, as well as the visibility of the points of interest. And the last but not least, which is the human scale, which is related to the visibility of the end street to show how long the walk is, and the width of the sidewalks in comparison with the number of people walking on that road. Also, the provision of the streets furniture on intervals on those shopping streets. In conclusion, enhancing walkability of shopping streets ensures their vitality as an urban space. The case study sheds light on how urban features and attributes influence local walking preferences and experiences. The study findings reveal 5 walkability determinants that are important for future development of walkability indices and pedestrian planning strategies. And also larger generalization of results can be determined by larger sample size, more accurate keeping footfall count, as well as multiple observation visits. Future studies could evaluate how socio-culturally responsive designs influence economic vitality on shopping streets, offering additional guidance for urban planners and policymakers. Thank you for listening.